Nope. I want to check out. Well, hello peoples of the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so for today's video, I thought I would do another weekend reading vlog because I did one a couple of weeks ago and you guys really enjoyed it. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do another one. So hopefully during this reading vlog, I will manage to get quite a lot of reading done because I am just in a really good reading mood, which I love. Like, it doesn't happen very often. Sometimes I get into like a mood where I just don't really want to read anything. I watch like a lot of YouTube videos and I watch stuff and I just don't read. But luckily, I'm still in a reading mood. We are thriving. It's amazing. We love that for me. But before we get into the books that I'm planning on reading during this reading vlog, I would just like to say that this video is being kindly sponsored by Skillshare. So if you don't know what Skillshare is, they are basically an online learning platform that offer thousands and thousands of classes ranging from a variety of different topics such as photography, illustration, journaling and languages. But a class that I would like to recommend that I have actually just started myself is Korean for Absolute Beginners by Kim Ki-won. Now, as you guys may know from my last video where I did a video where I was talking in Irish, I have a huge interest in learning languages. One language that I've just been wanting to learn a lot recently is Korean. I've just been very interested in it, and when I saw that there was a class for it on Skillshare, I was like, yes, I cannot wait to do this. And so far, I'm just really loving it. There is a total of 44 lessons that range from 2 minutes long to 10 minutes long, so it's actually so easy to like fit in about 3 or 4 lessons every day and work it into your schedule. But one of the things that I really love about this class is how engaging it is, because there are writing practice sheets that you can like download and print off yourself, which you can use to help practice your writing of Hangul, which is basically Korean alphabet. So I really love that there's like that practical element to it, because when you're learning a language, you definitely need that practical element to like help it sink into your brain. So not only is Skillshare extremely useful and beneficial, it's also actually very affordable, with it being $10 per month with the annual subscription. And luckily, in my description down below, for a limited time, you can actually access your free trial with Skillshare. So if this sounds interesting to you, I would just highly recommend that you check out the free trial. And yeah, thank you once again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Okay, so moving on to the books that I want to read in this video. A lot of them are just the dust jackets, because I actually went to start reading the books earlier and then I forgot I didn't film an intro, so I came back. So now I only have the dust jackets because they were all around my shelf. The first one that I'm planning on rereading is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. Now, as you guys know, I read this book back in April and I absolutely loved it, and I've been saying I think it's one of my favorite books of the year, but I don't know if it's the best book of the year that I've read. Like, is it the #1 spot? I don't know. And so I've been wanting to reread it to just see and maybe validate those thoughts. I'm like, you know what, Kevin? You were right. It is #1. So I'm planning on rereading this, and if you guys don't know what this book is about, it basically follows this main character who is going through this self-discovery process and discovering who they are. It also just deals with race, gender, sexuality, so many different topics, and it's just such a beautifully written book. It's also written in verse. Such a stunning book. It has been getting a lot of hype on BookTube recently, and I'm very happy to see that because it genuinely deserves it, because this book is just so stunning. And if you haven't read it, highly recommend. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be rereading this. I'm also going to tab some of my favorite parts, like my annotations and stuff. I'm very excited. Like, will it make me cry again? That's the real tester right there. That's how we'll know if it's definitely my favorite book. Then the next book that I want to read is actually another one that was on the video where I did my books I want to read before the end of the year. This book was also on it, but also I actually put a poll on my Patreon, and my patrons actually chose for me to read this one in this vlog. And that book is Harrow Lake by Kat Ellis. Now, this is actually the ARC edition that I was sent by Penguin, and it's in the shape of like a VHS tape, if I can get this out. It's just so cool. I love this edition. And basically what I know about this book is it's basically a YA horror book, and it follows like this main character whose dad is a very famous movie director for horror movies. And he directed this movie called Nightjar that was filmed in this town called Harrow Lake, which is actually a real town. But then something happens to the main character's dad, and then she has to go move back to Harrow Lake and live with her grandmother, and then stuff starts to happen from there. There's supposed to be mystery behind the town and stuff, and like maybe there's some truth to the parts that were in the movie and everything. I'm really excited. It sounds like it's gonna be right up my street, like right with my spooky vibes, because I've just kind of been in the mood for like Halloween books. I know it's still September, but I'm like getting excited for Halloween. Like, I'm wearing black. I'm here for it. I'm just ready for Halloween. And so I definitely want to start off with like a little spooky book, and I'm very excited to read this one. I haven't seen many people talking about it yet, so I don't know what to expect, but I'm really excited to read it nonetheless. And then if I manage to finish those other 2 books, which I will be very proud if I actually finish those, I also want to see if I can start I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. And this is actually a book that I'm reading for my Patreon, because this is my book club pick for the month of September. So I'm reading this with my patrons. I'm also doing a separate spoiler vlog all about this book. So if I do start this in this video, I'm not going to say too much of my thoughts because I'm doing a separate entire video exclusively for Patreon. So I won't be giving away too much of my thoughts, but I don't know if I actually will get to this. We'll have to just like wait and see if I actually do. So yeah, they are the 3 books I will be trying to read during this reading vlog. Will it happen? Who knows? But like I said, I'm feeling very like motivated. I'm in the reading mood. So I think we're good to go. I'm Diamond, you know I glow up. Sorry, I had to do it. We've got all the goodies. Like, we love that. So I actually have several different tabs. Like, I kind of just buy sticky tabs whenever I see them. Like, if I'm like looking for some, I'll just grab whatever ones they have. I don't really have a preference. So I have these ones with not many different ones left, and they kind of have like little arrow at the end of them. Then I have these ones which are just like square, like rectangle. This is not a square, Kevin. I don't know geometry, clearly. So these are like the rectangular kind of ones. Then I have these other ones that are basically the same things, except they kind of come individually. Like, they're all individual ones kind of thing. But anyways, I have my 2 books that I want to be starting, because I think I'm going to go with the Black Flamingo first, because I just really want to read this again. And I have my tabs so I can like annotate all my favorite parts. And then when I finish this, I think I'm going to start reading Harrow Lake, because it's daytime, and if it's scary, I won't get too scared because it's still daytime outside. Let's do some reading. Like, ooh, grab a book. Also, I got the audiobook for this one because when I was rereading it, I was like, I want to have like an audiobook going and like get a new experience for my reread. So I got the audiobook.
A few moments later.
Oh my god, it's read by Dean Atta, the author. Everything, absolutely everything. If you don't follow Dean Atta on Instagram and everything, I'm so obsessed with him. Like, I've become a bit of a stan, and I did not realize this was narrated by him. This makes me even happier because like I'm gonna hear the emotion because it's his writing and everything. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited right now. Guys, I literally just read the prologue and I'm tearing up already. I love this book so much. Actually tearing up. The prologue is, I am the Black Flamingo. The Black Flamingo is me, trying to find myself. This book is a fairy tale in which I am the prince and the princess. I am the king and the queen. I am my own wicked witch and fairy godmother. This book is a fairy tale in which I'm cursed and blessed by others. But finally, I am the fairy finding my own magic. It's just so beautiful. Like, it just really, really resonates with me, and oh, I'm already gonna tab that. So what are we gonna use for that section? Because I want to tab that whole thing. So I think I need a color that's for like favorite moments, like favorite quotes. So I usually use blue for that. So I think I'm just gonna stick with that just for simple reasons, because I'll remember that I always use blue for that. Okay. We've got our first tab. This book is gonna get so tabbed. I'm not even sorry about it. Like, I'm literally not mad. Okay guys, so it's actually been, I don't know how long I've been sitting here, and I have been tabbing it quite a bit, and I just want to kind of go through what my tabs are. Blue, orange, yellow, and pink are currently the ones I've used. So all of my blue tabs are ones where it's a quote that I can relate to, or it's just a really nice quote that I like. And then the yellow tabs are for when there is something homophobic that is said, because this book deals with literally so much. It deals with race, gender, sexuality, and all of these different things. I just feel like it's done in a way that helps Michael discover who he is, and just, it also is stuff that I have experienced through my own life growing up, discovering who I am. And then basically all the pink tabs are like cute moments, or moments where I'm like, oh my god, so cute. I mainly have a lot of orange. So orange are basically the tabs where there are quotes dealing with race, gender, sexuality in a way that it's like so powerful. And so there's several of those. And yes, they're basically all of the different tabs that I have. And I'm just really loving this reread. I'm also really loving the audiobook, so I would highly recommend that because Dean Atta's voice is really nice and soothing and relaxing, so I would definitely recommend. I can just relate to so many things being like a gay man myself, and I can just relate to so many different things that is discussed throughout this book. I'm trying not to say any spoilers because I want to keep it spoiler free. But also there's another part in here that I just forgot about, and it's basically where Michael goes to see Kinky Boots with his family for like his birthday at one time, and he talks about how much he loves Kinky Boots and he loves that like the drag queen in it is black and stuff like that. And I just remember like when I first saw Kinky Boots, I saw it when I was in New York at Broadway, and I loved Kinky Boots so freaking much, and it was like one of those first musicals I watched, and I just was like, wow. And I just remember being so in love with Kinky Boots, and like I had not known anything about it before I saw it. After I watched it and everything, I was kind of like, how did I never know about this musical? I love that the main character obviously loves that too, and that's kind of like how he got into finding drag, because also in this book the main character discovers like the drag world and drag society and like gets involved in the world of drag. Like that's literally where I am right now, is that he's discovering that at university. And I love that like his first kind of like introduction to it was Kinky Boots. I don't know, it just makes me so happy. I love it, and I'm gonna keep reading, probably gonna go and finish it. So it is the next day, and I know I literally said in the last clip that I was gonna try finish the book and like I'll vlog this evening like when I'm reading in bed and stuff. Yeah, it's the next day and I didn't vlog, didn't finish the Black Flamingo. I got very distracted yesterday, like things happened. But anyways, it is now Saturday. We're going to try and finish, well not try and finish, we're definitely gonna go finish the Black Flamingo because it's not gonna take me that long. I don't know why I didn't finish it yesterday. Queen of procrastinating his reading. That's who I be. Okay, so I'm very close to finishing. I'm on page 305, like literally so close to finishing. But there's just this like section that I wanted to read out because it's a part that I just kind of like relate to myself, and I feel like it's the confidence and everything that we just all need in our lives. And I just really love the poem and like the way it's written, and I just think it's stunning. So basically it says, I've been friendly, I've been frightened, I've been fake, but I've never been fierce. I've been frustrated, I've been forgotten, I've been forgiving, but I've never been fierce. I want to be fabulous, I want to be flamboyant, I want to flaunt what I've got, I want to be fierce. Yes, yes. It obviously got a blue tab because I relate to it, and I'm just like, yes, yes. Okay guys, I just finished reading it, and that ending, once again, it just made me so emotional. The way this ends, and it just, the prologue, honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of the whole book. It just really hits me, and I just connect with it so freaking much. So if you haven't read this book, guys, please, please, please go pick it up. I genuinely think this is the best book I've read all of 2020. I think this is going to be my favorite book of the year. I don't even feel like I should say I think anymore. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite book I've read of 2020. Of course, there's still like plenty of time left for the rest of the year, but I don't know what book is going to beat this. Like, I just love this book so much. If there's any book you ever take a recommendation away from me, please just try this one. Like, I would just recommend it so much. I just love it. There's so much talk about internalized homophobia. There's talk about race. There's talk about gender identity. There's talk about gender non-conforming. There's talk about drag. There's just so much in here, and I just think it's such a beautiful book, and I really think you guys should pick it up and check it out. Like, it's just so amazing. And also Dean Atta, like I said, narrates the audiobook, so I would recommend that. I've definitely finished it as well, and as you can see, all my tabs. It's just such a great book, and I just love it so much. Please, please, please read it. So now that I have that finished, it is time to start reading Harrow Lake. Before I go read that, I'm actually gonna go for dinner with my parents. We booked a table, so we're gonna go do that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go do. This angle is absolutely awful, but like, imagine if I just went and like dropped it on my face. Actually, you know what? We're not going to imagine that because that probably will happen knowing my luck. Okay, so I'm about to start reading Harrow Lake. I've come into the sitting room to sit with my mom and dad. So in case I get scared, I have them to protect me.
Because you are my baby.
Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading, or start reading even. Okay guys, so it's later in the evening and I'm in bed now, and I actually didn't read much of Harrow Lake. I got up to page 36, and obviously that's not very far with the book, but what I did read so far, I am definitely invested, and I feel like this is a book that like you read the first chapter and you're going to be like sucked in straight away, because like the way the first chapter happens, it's like something that is in the present day, and you obviously hear some things that happen. I literally can't say already, like it's on the first like 10 pages, but I will spoil it for you if I do, so I literally can't say. You find out something happens because there's like an interview or something, and then it goes 1 year earlier, and now things are happening. Obviously, I already said it, this book was about this girl whose dad works in like the film industry and made this film, and then she gets sent back to live in the town where the film was based. So that is basically what's happening right now. The main character is moving back to that town. And so 36 pages in, it's going very fast. I am liking it, and there's already parts in it that like creeped me out a little bit, because like the whole thing is about Mr. Jitters. Remember the little guy that was like on the cover? That guy has like been mentioned, and he apparently makes like clicking noises. Guys, I'm gonna be in my bedroom and I'm just gonna hear clicking and I'm gonna start freaking out. But anyways, I don't really have any plans for tomorrow, so my theory is I might just try and read this all tonight at nighttime, a scary kind of book. That sounds fun, but also terrifying, so we shall see how this goes. I could end up being like crawled up in my bed just crying to myself, but I don't think it's gonna be that scary or anything. Like, I don't think a book is gonna do that to me. I can't really imagine it.
A few moments later.
So I know I just said that I was probably gonna stay up all night reading this book. I think I'm going to change my mind, because, you know, for personal reasons and just for my own safety, I just think it'll be better if I don't do that. So we're gonna scratch that idea and pretend I never said that, because I am off to page 55 now on chapter 4. Basically, the main character has gone back to where her mum used to live. So yeah, that's where she's gone back to, and also her mother starred as like the main character in the horror movie that her dad directed in Harrow Lake. So that's also another thing that happened. Basically, she's gone to bed and she's just like looking around the new room that she's going to be staying in for the next few weeks. And she looks out the window and she just sees like this figurine standing outside her window. She's like, oh, what's that? And I'm also like, oh, what is that? Please close your window, like pull the curtains. And then we hear a child giggle, like a little girl giggle. And if you know me, one of the things that terrifies me in horror movies, like one of the things that you could easily scare me with, is when you have little children doing that little giggle. Absolutely terrifies me, and I just read it in a book form and it literally terrified me as well. And basically then she like waves out the window at the person, and the person starts mimicking her actions. Nope. Nope. I'm gone. Mentally, I need to put myself in somewhere that's happier, because I cannot read this all at nighttime. Why did I think I was brave enough to do that? Like, let's just explore that. Why did we think that? Well, actually, you guys might not have thought it at all. I thought it. Why did I think that? No, like, why was there little kids giggling and then mimicking? Oh my god, I just realised the little figurine that I was talking about is on the book. This guy. Oh my god, now it makes sense why it's a puppet, because it's mimicking her. Nope. I want to check out. Okay guys, so it is now Sunday and I have woken up and I've done a bit more reading. I didn't actually read that much last night, as I said, because I was like, you know what, reading at nighttime, not a great idea, because Mr. Jitters is not fun. I don't like him. But anyways, I've been continuing reading and I actually am really enjoying this, because there's stuff kind of happening every chapter, and like there's creepy vibes to like every single chapter. What I really like about it is it has like this trope where there's like this creepy town with like this town legends and town myth and town creepy stories, and then like the people of the town all know the stories, but then the main character goes to this town and doesn't know the stories. And then also the town Harrow Lake is where the movie was filmed. Like Nightjar is the name of her dad's movie, and that's where it was filmed. And then there's all these different creepy stories about the town that maybe were what inspired the movie and all of this kind of stuff. Like, it has such creepy vibes to it, and it has just the tropes I love. There is one thing that's annoying me, and the character keeps saying everything is optimal. Like, she's always like, okay, if I go into my bedroom, that's optimal. If I remember to call my dad, that will be optimal. And I'm like, can you just stop saying optimal? Like, I'm getting annoyed by it. Like, she literally constantly says it. And I just wanted to read out a line where I am right now. So I'm up to chapter 9, page 119. And the reason I want to read it out is because Love, Simon was mentioned. Of all books, I did not expect Love, Simon to get mentioned in a scary book, but I'm here for it. Basically what happened is the main character found this jitterbug. Don't want to say much more about it, but she just found like this little toy jitterbug thing. And she's basically just describing it. She goes, where did it come from? It's so totally out of place. Like seeing Jigsaw from Saw wheeling his tricycle across the set of Love, Simon. I just love it. I just love that it was mentioned. Okay guys, so I just finished reading Harrow Lake by Kat Ellis, and I really enjoyed this one, guys. I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars because just with the optimal thing that the character kept saying, it was kind of annoying me. And then also just, I wanted it to be a little bit scarier, a little bit spookier. But I think what the main thing to actually think about this book is that it's more like a thriller, like a YA thriller in my opinion, than it is like horror or anything. Because there is like a murder mystery part in it as well. And then like it just has creepy elements with like Mr. Jitters and stuff like that. The story is very complex and like, as I was saying, like has lots of different niches and like tropes that you see in your traditional horror and thriller movies. But it also works in a way that you are kind of expecting something else to happen, or at least I was anyways. Like I was kind of expecting something to happen that was similar to like the movie that it's supposed to be based on in the town to happen. And then other things were happening, and yeah, so I kind of expected to go a certain way and then it didn't, but I don't know. Yeah, it was just so interesting. I couldn't stop reading it. Like I literally couldn't put it down because I was so invested. And as I said, things happen every single chapter. Like I wasn't bored literally once throughout this whole book. Like I was literally constantly just invested. I wanted to know more. I wanted to know what happened. I wanted to get to it. Like I just couldn't put it down. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this. It was actually quite a surprise, to be honest. But I did actually expect this to be probably a 3-star. I didn't expect it to be a 4. Like this is nearly a 4.5 for me. Like I actually really enjoyed it. But as I said, do not go into it expecting it to be a very scary book. Go into it with like a thriller / murder mystery with creepy elements to it. That's what I think is important to remember if you do plan on reading this book. And yeah, I think I'm going to end the vlog here because I don't think I'm going to read anything else. I know I still have like the rest of the day today, but I actually think I'm just going to go have food with my mom and my dad, watch some movies with them, then maybe play some of my Switch later on tonight because I think I've just done a lot of reading and I don't really want to read anything else. I don't want to force myself. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this vlog. I do want to say a thank you once again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. In the description down below, you will find a link to where you can access your free trial to Skillshare, which I would highly recommend, especially if you're looking to learn a new skill. I would just highly recommend that you do that. And other than that, that is going to be it for this video, guys, and I shall see you all next time in my next one. So goodbye, guys.